in this lecture I am dealing about rate of force development, and as it is a very important property. Most of things you know about it, but in bit detail we go in this in this lecture, and in the next lecture we will be dealing with the impulse. So both of these are well connected to one another, so that you can know the difference between the two. Okay, so what is the next one? So what is RFD? So basically it is a rate of force development. The rate of force development is a measure of explosive strength, or simply how fast an athlete can develop force, right? So athletes with higher rate of force development have been shown to perform better. So RFD leads to better performance. That one thing you should always keep in mind. So therefore highlights the potential importance of this property in athlete training. So therefore it highlights the potential importance this value has in the role of athletic development. Well, many forms of training have been shown to improve the rate of force development in untrained individuals. So I am here talking about two things. One is your this untrained individuals, and the second one is your trained athletes. So these two are different individuals. So the point here is that there are many workouts which will ultimately improve your rate of development, RFD. They are going to improve somehow, but in the case of trained athletes, when you talk about trained athletes, then these two training modules, resistance and ballistic training, will work. Okay, so that you have to keep in mind. Now, what are the advantages of RFD in the sports? So the number one is athletes who have high RFD are more explosive, as they can develop larger forces in shorter period of time. So this is the crucial factor, time. Whenever you talk of RFD, time is very crucial. That simply means the person who has high RFD will take less time. Okay. Developing a more explosive athlete may improve their sporting performance. In fact, higher RFD have been directly linked with these are the games where advantages have been seen, like jumping, sprinting, cycling, weightlifting, and even golf, swimming, and performance. Almost most of the games involve utilization of high RFD quality, so that they can increase their performance. So all these games are linked in this process. Now, what causes an increase in the rate of force development? So we are just up till now talking about that rate of force development is there. It is very important. So what causes an increase in rate? What are the factors which are responsible, which will create more RFD, which will create this property in you? So the number one is improvement in RFD are likely to be a result of the increase in muscle tenderness, stiffness. This is the thing that is happening at the ground level. When you are training yourself for RFD development, your muscles and tendon become more stiff. Stiffer the muscle tendons, more is the rate of force development, RFD. So ultimately what is happening at the ground level? Number one thing is your this muscle and tendon becoming more stiffer with training. And in trained athletes, the training is ballistic or resistance. Enhance muscle force production via changes in muscle fiber type. Now, muscle fiber type, that we will discuss in more detail in the muscle chapter. Basically, we have different type of muscle fibers, like here I have shown you form type 1 and type 2A. Now, type 1 is a slow twitch fiber and the type 2A is the fast twitch fiber. So when we recruit these fast twitch fibers, then definitely the amount of force which is produced is more. So that's why when you are training specifically for rate of force development, this RFD development, then definitely your brain will recruit more of these fibers, fast twitch fibers, so that you can produce large amount of force in short period of time. Okay. And third factor that which is happening behind this is your neural drive. Increased amount of if you are training more on this area, that you want to develop this RFD, you are doing a ballistic training, you are doing resistance training on daily basis, then your neural drive also get improved, so that automatically fast twitch fibers are recruited to do a task, so that you can do it in a, because this is the property of fast twitch fibers, they contract very intensively in a very short period of time and produce large amount of force. So these are the three things which are happening at the ground level. As a result, you will get high RFD, and that will make you more explosive, and explosiveness definitely wins you gold medal. Now, what causes a decrease in rate of force development? Now, earlier slide is there which is telling you that what is happening at the ground level, so that you have high RFD. But there are some negative points which you keep in mind that you should avoid. So what are these? RFD appears to be negatively affected by changes in the muscle fiber types. Sometimes what happens is the muscle fiber recruitment changes from type 2X to type 2A. So this is the wrong transition if we are talking of rate of force development, because type 2X are the very fast twitching muscle fibers, even faster than type 2A. But the problem is they get fatigued very early. So it is these fibers are recruited only on those activities like sprinting, when you need very fast movements in a very short period of time. You have to produce a lot of force. So your brain get programmed to recruit these fibers so that you can produce large amount of force, and you have, as a result, you have very high RFD. But sometimes with lack of training or somehow, if this change happens, that they get changed from type 2X to again normal fast type 2A, then again you will have some decrease in RFD. And third is increase in the fascicle length. That is, fascicle is a group of muscle fibers, so it leads to reduced muscle stiffness. If the length increases, then that will decrease the stiffness, and once this stiffness decreases, that will ultimately affect your RFD. So these are the negative aspects which you always keep in mind, so that you can develop your high RFD. Now, how to calculate the rate of force development? What are the methods? So RFD is basically expression of explosive strength. It is measured in Newton per second square, because it is basically force, max force peak over time. So time is in the seconds. When you take it above, so it will become inverse. So that means Newton per second inverse. Second inverse there, it is squared. I have written by typo error, so it should be Newton second inverse. Now, multiple measurements RFD have been developed in order to measure various component performance. So RFD can be measured during a whole activity, or at some particular point of activity, in certain particular duration of activity. It depends upon your scenario how you are going for the analysis. So there are multiple ways to measure, but ultimate the formula is like this only: peak force over time taken to have that. So if you have high RFD, then this time will be less and this force production will be high, and as a result you will have high RFD production. Okay. Now, how to improve the rate of force development? So basically, here we are talking about the workouts which you should follow, so that you can develop this quality. So training in the maximum strength area. So in the last two lectures I have shown you that force velocity curve. So it was like this, right? And we have different segments here. Here we have 1 RM equivalent workouts, here 70% of that, then middle one, then this is the least one when we have very less resistance. So here we have force and here we have velocity. So here the maximum force is applied. So this is the area we call it as maximum strength. So whenever you work in the maximum strength, this will lead to improve in the force production, but it may also result in reduction in the time. So if you are continuously working in this area, you will definitely develop rate of force development. However, most professionals commonly use an all-rounded approach within their programming. So that I have told you that according to the games, coaches decide their areas, whether they want to work in maximum strength area or speed strength area or max velocity area. So it is all their choice, but usually the common approach is all-rounded approach, so that we can develop on both the ends. So most of them, they will try to work out in this second area where we have 70% of RM resistance which we are taking. Okay, now what are the workouts? So these are the common workouts: 5, 3, 4, 5. These include resistance training, velocity training, Olympic weightlifting, polymetric training, balance training. All 5 will make this quality in you. But if you are a trained athlete who is already working out a lot, then these two workouts, resistance training and ballistic training, will make the difference. And for the common people who are just starting now, new ones, these 3 are the factors. So in this way you can develop this thing. Now the conclusion: rate of force development is a reliable measure of explosive strength, with higher RFD having linked with better athletic performance. That is for sure. Improvement in RFD are likely to be a result of increase in the muscle's tendon stiffness, enhanced muscle force production via recruitment of fast muscle type fibers, and increase in neural drive. So this is the ultimate way to achieve that, and I hope it is clear at your end. Thank you very much.